Hello, welcome back. This is Storytown with Turner Town. Story Time with Turner Town. I'm your host, Turner Town. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull prompts, three to be exact, character, plot, setting, and from there we will grow a story. Let's just dive right in. One, two, and three. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got today? Let's take a look and see. STIs are spreading. There is no stopping them. Oh, a graveyard for mythical creatures. This might be a fun story. Oh, I've already done this character recently. Okay, the guy who talks like he's rapping but never actually rhymes anything. Wowzers, what a story this will be. So, first things first, I guess we need a name. Parapatep. His name will be Parapatep, or Parumpapump, and his name is McDiddlexteropolis. We're going to call him McDiddlefits, and everybody calls him McDiddle for short. We're going to name him Nort A. Rappaport, or Not a Rapper for short. And he always sounds like he's rapping, but he never rhymes. And, he hates when people think that he's a rapper. It's just a speech impediment. I did an example earlier when I was drunk, but it's one of my favorite characters, so it was bound to show up eventually. I didn't think it would be this soon after already doing him in another video. But he's just a guy, regular guy, talks in a cadence of like, so I went to the bank the other day to deposit a check and never got to the front of the line because it was busy. Yo, don't come at me with a gun while I'm in the bank, 'cause I'll get scared even if it was only just a joke. It'll be better than that, I promise. Once I write it down, I'll have something better to go. I just need time to think about it when I'm trying to freestyle the cadence of rapping while not actually rhyming any of the words. It breaks my brain just as much as if I was trying to rhyme every single time. Graveyard of mythical creatures, so like centaurs and unicorns and talking cats and angry bats and wizards and warlocks and ghouls and goblins, and I like leprechauns, so I'm going to use a leprechaun. I like to write about leprechauns as much as I can. Imps, ghouls, because those are fun and scary. Yetis, because they're big and hairies. I think that gives us a good little selection. Unicorns and dragons, obviously. Just one of each, though. And ghosts, because they're at a graveyard. Gotta have ghosts, maybe some zombies. Leper can, more like leper can't, am I right, dude? Centaur, more like centaur. 'Cause they're getting STIs. If dolphins weren't so well known, I would consider them a mythical creature as well. How does he find himself in a mythical creature's graveyard? The fairy tale land or whatever, the Dungeons and Dragons realm. Maybe he couldn't always see it. Maybe he just figures it out once he gets an STI, a mythical creature STI, because he was tricked by an imp or a fairy or something. So let's say a siren of the Fey folk come and trick this guy into sleeping with them, and then he contracts a mythical STI from them, which he doesn't fully understand, but it causes him to see all the creatures around him and stuff. Kidnap him and bring him to a graveyard, for he is the next sacrifice to appease the STI gods. Not a good god, not a bad god. Well, maybe a bad god. Maybe he's the god that gives out the STIs in the first place. Ooh. There obviously is going to be some world building required in order to understand this. So we're not going to be in the graveyard the whole time, but our climax will definitely take place in the mythical graveyard. It's probably going to start out in like a bar or something where gets hit on by the siren, or we'll jump in directly after he's already had sex with the siren. They'll like get off each other and be like, "Oh, that was great," and they'll be like, "Yeah, it was alright, whatever." And the siren will fucking her face will change into the monster she is, and then his best friend, his sidekick, is going to be a kappa because they're just so adorable, which is a little turtle-like Japanese demon creature. And so it'll scare him at first, but the thing will just like always like just cling on to him. It'll be like this big, and it'll just follow him around wherever he goes. Yeah, it's basically his mascot, the mascot of the story. So he's constantly on the run from this Kappa who pulls pranks on him all the time, along with him trying to escape a Minotaur who's trying to sacrifice him in order to communicate with his god, the almighty unicorn. So Nort A. Rappaport is turning into a ghoul. He does not want this to happen, obviously. Is there a way to change him back? To him, absolutely not. There's absolutely no way. There's only one thing that could, and he doesn't know what that is. What do you call a Turner with an STI? Just basically Turner, because it doesn't change who I am on the inside. STIs, they don't make you less human than other humans. They just make you dirtier. All of the mythical creatures became mythical creatures through STI transmission. There's never been a mythical creature made without a sex somewhere. Like a minotaur is a sexually transmitted disease contracted from when a guy fucked a bull. And a unicorn is a sexually transmitted disease contracted by a horse who fucked a narwhal and became God. And a goblin was sexually transmitted from a blowjob where the chick was just gobbling it up, just gobbling it up. Oh no, a goblin was a sexually transmitted disease from when a man fucked a turkey. Gobble gobble. Guy wakes up next to pretty woman who transforms into a hideous monster. It's a siren, and it has passed an STI onto him. So he has to get to a doctor, obviously, because he doesn't feel right. And he's been seeing weird things. He thinks they're hallucinations. So he's got to go to a doctor's office. And that's when things get really weird. He finds out that the Minotaur is after him. So oh yeah, he probably meets his little buddy here too. The whole way he's going to be learning some lore about the place, at least for this whole section here. Creating the world building as it were. And then he's going to learn to just change it into a ghoul. You know, he's going to meet our dragon. He's going to meet the dragon, which is like our wise man character, who's abstaining from this whole sacrificial thing. He doesn't care one way or the other about the humans or the mythical monsters. Somewhere up here, you know, the dragon's gonna change his mind and decides one way or the other whether he's gonna help the mythical people sacrifice this man or if he's gonna help the man reclaim his humanity. Throughout all of this section, he's doing two things, I guess. One, he's running from the Minotaur, and two, he's trying to save himself. So the femme fatale has to come back as well in here. And is she in love with him? Is she not in love with him? Who knows? Who knows? And of course he calls upon all the friends that he's made over his journey to come and save the day. Because friendship is what heals us all. There's only one way to stop becoming a ghoul, and that's to cut your wiener off. Stop the spread of the disease. Thanks for tuning in to Storytown with Turner Time. Thank you for tuning in to Storytime with Turner Town. I've been your host, Turner Town. Live with it. Don't forget to go for your checkups and whatnot. And the best way to stay safe is to try your best. You can click over here for another episode of Storytime, or you can click over here to take you to this episode's Story Corner. If you were a popsicle, I still wouldn't blow you. If you were a popsicle, I still wouldn't blow you. If you were a popsicle, I'd probably not blow you unless you were like cherry or something. Fuck, man, how do I sign off? Give me tape it. Don't forget to eat cereal unless you don't like it. Don't forget to shave your testicles. Don't forget you cannot burn the witches anymore. Goodbye and good night. And don't forget nobody dies on my watch.